Welcome back to WRPL. It's the podcast where we talk about all the things we were watching, reading, playing, and listening to. My name's Ben.
And I'm Steve.
How's it going, Steve?
It's going well, Ben. How are you?
I'm excellent. Short episode today. We don't have a lot to talk about, and we got things to do, so we gotta, zip zap so we get through this shit.
I'm going to give you two quick stories.
Okay.
One, you're not going to care about. One, you'll appreciate. For the first time ever, I'm in a fantasy football league.
Oh.
Yeah.
What class? Are you a wizard or cleric?
I made the same fucking joke,
Yeah.
and no one gave a shit.
Oh, God, your friends suck.
I know. I was basically I've been invited to do sports drafts things before, but I'm not a sports guy, but I'm willing to do them. But they're always just like, well, put in $10, and if you win, you get $300, whatever it is. And I'm like, well, I don't want to spend money on a thing I don't care about.
Yeah.
So I always drop out before I actually did it. But this one's free. So me and my friends are doing it, and I actually had to study football a little bit to try and make sure I got decent picks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably lose. But anyway, just a fun update for me. The other thing, so this is a slightly more involved story, is I had to do this 4-hour training at work that I was supposed to do, I think, earlier in my career at my current job.
Is this for the new position?
No, it's for everyone.
The sushi thing, or
it's just a thing every employee has to take.
Okay.
It's just a general how to do proper customer service and diversity and inclusion thing. So I was dreading it because I've just done so many trainings through so many jobs, and it's like, I get it. Yeah. Smile and say, have a good day. It's just basic common knowledge.
Don't use racial slurs or anything like that.
But one of the big things that they emphasized was make sure to always say thank you to them at the end of a conversation or whatever. And the guy running was just like, just a fun thing that I do. If someone says thank you to me, I go, no, thank you. And so that was about 15 minutes into the presentation. So in 4 hours or 3.5 hours go by, and we did all this stuff. And actually the course wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. He made it kind of fun. Anyway, we get to the end, and the presentation just kind of abruptly stops. And he's like, that's weird. We just did this whole thing about, saying thank you. And he's just like, hey, guys, thank you. And I was like, no, thank you. And he was like, whoa! And then, Ben, I'm not kidding, people clapped for me. The other people in the class. I've never felt more like a comedy god in my life.
It's not even that good of a joke.
No, it was just a perfect callback.
Yeah.
It was topical at the time. It made everyone laugh. There was only 4 people in this class, and then the teacher. But oh man, I was fucking crushing.
Awesome.
I made jokes throughout the whole thing. And, got light chuckles here or decent chuckle there. But man, that final one was just like the sprinkles on top. I was like, I walked out of there. I've been riding that high for 2 days now, and I was just like, I can't wait to tell Ben because he'd appreciate that.
I don't think I ever have had an and everybody clapped moment.
Yeah.
I'm not that funny or that clever.
Not everyone I want to be clear. Not everyone in the class clapped. 2 people clapped.
That's enough.
But it was enough. I was one would have just been a pity clap, but there was 2 people and they got very excited. I was like, man.
But there was more laughter than claps. So
Okay.
It wasn't just the 2 people.
Everyone laughed, but the 2 people really appreciated it. The guy running it and then the other person. But so.
Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you.
That's a good feeling.
I don't think I'll ever top that in terms of that was my end of the stand-up routine that everyone's going to be talking about next week. If I was John Mulaney or something. Mm-hmm. So this is as close as I'll be to big time stand-up. But I'm gonna remember it forever.
Had rankings of things before. Does this outrank your son, or is it under your son?
Well, see, the love I have for my son, and I assume he has for me, is just kind of unconditional. So it's great that it's always there, but it is kind of it's nice that I have pizza every day, but sometimes I want a little. So it's just, this thing is better because it's rare.
It's rare. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't want to say. Fuck it. It's better. I'm a sucker for laughs and attention, and I got it, and I'm going to be telling this story to my grandkids. All right, awesome. And moving on.
All right, well, let's start it off with a roll. I'm going to go. Can't see it.
20.
Are you serious?
Here's a clap for you, sir.
Thank you.
No. Thank you. Boom. Del brought it back again.
All right, but can you maintain it?
I'm riding high.
Or did you use up all your...
If this is a 1, I won't even care. 19? Holy shit.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, I don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
that's great. The highest roll yet.
Probably.
It absolutely is.
So the only way we can top this now is both to do 20s.
Yep.
Which is
And
going to be hard.
I'm going to predict not until we're in episode 270, somewhere in there. If we can maintain it that long, maybe we'll get there.
If there's any listeners who, if it gets around 200 areas, and it's just like, remind us. And let's see how close we get.
Yeah.
You'll say 270, I'll say, what are we at right now?
We're at episode 89.
I'm going to say 162.
162. Okay, keep it in mind. Gotta start the day with some sad news. Arlene Sorkin died today. Did you see that?
I did not.
Do you know who that is?
I assume not related to Aaron Sorkin.
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
But she is the original voice of Harley Quinn. She was the inspiration for Paul Dini, I think, who created the character, and one of the few characters to make the jump from animation to comic books. I think Detective Montoya is one of them. But a character that was nothing. You know, it was always, how do we redesign the characters from the past and make them more modern? Any new characters always seemed like a one-off, just someone for Batman to beat up. But this was a character that really got the fans, you know, excited because it was something new. And then having Joker to have like a sidekick and bounce things off of it is great. I mean, her voice is so like classic with that character. Nobody else does Harley except for maybe like, what's her name? Kaylee Cuoco. She does it a little different. She doesn't have that kind of upper northeast accent as you know, say a Tara Strong would do it for the Arkham games.
Sure.
But it's sad. She was 67. Did not say how she died, but that's a tough one. We had Batman last year, and then now, or was that this year? That was this year, wasn't it?
It might have been, yeah.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, I think it was this year.
Wow. Yeah, that's a shame. So R.I.P.
Watch out, Mark Hamill.
Oh, I know. God, no, he better be the last one.
No, Mark Hamill will live forever. In our hearts as Luke Skywalker and the Joker.
Uh-huh. So I only have two things. You only have two things. One of mine isn't even done. It's only the first two episodes of the thing.
All right, well, why don't you start with that?
Okay.
I mean, unless you have a lot to talk. Okay.
No.
And then I'll go, and then you go, and then I'll go, and then we'll wrap it up, I guess.
So speaking of Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, I watched the first two episodes of Ahsoka. And pretty awesome so far. As someone who doesn't watch Clone Wars or Rebels and doesn't know the character of Ahsoka more than the Clone Wars movie, where she was just the most grating, awful character I've ever seen. I always say like Rogue One is one of the worst Star Wars movies, but it's actually Clone Wars, the movie. That's the worst Star Wars movie. It's worse than was it Rise of Skywalker? All that shit. It's painful to watch, but it does have like a baby Jabba the Hutt, you know, years before we got a baby Yoda, and it's, you know, for a disgusting slug monster, it's kind of cute. But they just call him Stinky all the time, and she calls R2-D2 like R2-y, and calls Anakin Skywalker Sky Guy. It's like it's grating, but apparently through the show she's become a fan favorite and is amazing, and then Rebels is one of the greatest Star Wars things ever. I don't know. So going into this show, it's really fun and refreshing because I'm watching characters I don't know much about. I don't have any lore really to go off of. And every episode has been written and directed by Dave Filoni, who created this character. So, you know, he's doing it right. And it's pretty great. If you're into sci-fi babes, your three the good guys, all sexy women. Two of the villains are women, and the Sith apprentice looks like this like kind of Sia, Billie Eilish, blonde hair sort of woman. But yeah, something about an evil, sexy Sith lady is doing it for me. So it's
stupid, sexy Sith lady.
And you have Mary Elizabeth Winstead, yeah. Mary Elizabeth Winstead as a Twi'lek, so she's all green and's got the big tentacles off of her head. So, I mean, that's enough just to tune in for her. But besides sexy space ladies, it's actually a fun and engaging show, and I'm sure I'm missing a ton of references. And did you notice that thing? That's from the show. That's a reference and goes right over my head. Thrawn hasn't been introduced yet, but that's the coming thing. And Ezra Bridger, whoever this character is, he's coming. But I'm really enjoying it, except for two things. One, they have
the star, and two, with the wars. I'm not a big fan.
They have a droid that was like a lightsaber builder in the Jedi Temple, and he's like the ugliest fucking droid I've ever seen. Maybe the Book of Boba Fett. You remember there was one voiced by Matt Berry. It was like red and white, and it was just so junky.
You told me about that. I didn't watch.
Oh, you didn't watch Book? Okay, well, no big loss. But that's the ugliest one. This is number 2. It's got these weird spikes on the side of its head. It's awful, and voiced by David Tennant, and it has a name like Kobayashi. It's a very strange name for a droid. Normally, they're just numbers and letters, but whatever. Maybe he'll win me over, but his design is awful.
Yeah, well, never mind. I was going to say, well, if it's named Kobayashi and then...
I don't know if it's official. It is like an Asian-sounding name.
Asian-sounding name. And Star Wars is sort of based off of Seven Samurai. Mm-hmm. You would think that you would just get some cool Asian actor to do the voice. Like, you make it, especially if he's like the lightsaber builder, it's kind of like a Tori Hanzo sword-making droid. That sounds kind of fucking awesome.
Sounds cool.
But it's like, David Tennant's available.
Tennant, yeah. All right, and then let's make him the ugliest thing possible.
I mean, nothing against David Tennant, but it just seemed like an easy thing to do. But whatever.
Second thing is, lightsabers are now kind of stupid and not as threatening. Lightsabers were the be-all, end-all. You got to be good with it. Otherwise, you're getting something lopped off. You get stabbed with these, you're done. So one of our lead characters at the end of episode 1 takes a lightsaber right through the gut. And I was like, wow, this is a character from Rebels. I can't believe they were going to kill her off in the first episode. Well, I should have known better. They're not killing her off. She's, I guess, gets thrown in a bacta tank, but how those could only do so much, I would feel.
Darth Maul got cut in half, but still he's alive.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I don't know the character, so you can tell me, is this character just a human character?
Yeah.
Not like an alien person?
No, not.
Then yeah, fuck them, they should die.
Yeah. If Qui-Gon could get a lightsaber to the gut, then she should. Now, when you see it, it looks between your belly button and sternum. It's a little high. Like, it angled up, it would be maybe even a little bit of long action. But when you see the wound, it's like off to the side, like it just got some belly fat. I'm like, no.
Didn't hit any vital organs, luckily.
Yeah. Just
cauterized the wound.
If she got a hand cut off and then swiped across the belly, cool, fine. But as we saw in Obi-Wan, someone else, a Sith lady, got a lightsaber right through her fucking chest, and she survived. So now, it doesn't matter. If you get hit with these, you're fine. You'll survive. As long as,
Unless you're a stormtrooper.
Yeah, unless you're a stormtrooper or Qui-Gon Jinn. One of the greatest, strongest Jedis out there. Couldn't take it. And I guess you could say it hit his spine, but Darth Maul's spine got cut as well. Oh, but he's an alien. I don't know all the rules.
Technically, they're all aliens.
Technically, yes. Now, I mean, I don't know if they ever use... They do, because C-3PO says, like, human-cyborg relations. So there is, like, human is an established thing, and the Empire has always only ever had humans and no aliens until Thrawn, because he was just the best of the best. I think in later stuff we've seen some more alien stuff with the bad guys. But, I mean, for all we know, they're all 10 feet tall. It's millions of years, or a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. What are humans?
Sure.
All that, the biological stuff doesn't matter. But it just really nerfs the lightsaber and makes it uncool. If anybody gets stabbed, unless like their head gets cut off, it seems like anybody can survive a lightsaber now, and it's just not that interesting.
Yeah.
But the show itself, I'm into it. We'll see at the end, but maybe I'll go through the animated show to see what I missed, because apparently those two are the best in Star Wars. It's just so damn ugly. I just hate it. But, is this one you're going to tune in for?
I will wait for this season to be over, and if I hear nothing... Because I did the same thing for Andor. Mm-hmm. I had no desire to watch Andor, and Andor's fine. There's 2 episodes I really, really liked,
Mhm.
and then the rest was like, this is okay. So I have a feeling that this will be more of the same, because I felt the same way about Mandalorian. The Mandalorian had fantastic opening episodes and a bunch of middle episodes that were just and then a great final episode. But now I'm kind of off the Mandalorian train because I didn't love season 3.
No.
So I just don't. I think we're in a weird time where Star Wars isn't landing anything, Marvel is struggling to land anything, but they're all just mediocrity at its finest.
Yeah.
So I would love if this show is great, and the trailer seemed pretty good, and I like the cast, but it's Star Wars, so I don't know. I'm holding out.
One thing I really like is we're gonna definitely get more Jedi Sith action, more lightsaber stuff, and I don't in a show about lightsaber people, I want to see lightsabers. In Andor, I don't need to see any sort of lightsaber stuff. So this we have our two Sith. One's not Ray Winston. What's his name? He just died. The Punisher in Punisher Warzone.
Yeah,
not Ray Park. That's Darth Maul.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah, Ray something. He's in it, looking like enormous. Looks like Luke Skywalker if he went to the dark side and just started getting jacked. He's just gray, and my prediction is that his apprentice, the white-haired girl, is going to be his daughter. I don't have anything to base that off of, except they both have white hair. But one things I like, the one that got the lightsaber through her chest, I can't even remember her name. She's been trained, I guess, by Ahsoka to be a Jedi, but she's not Force sensitive. So we haven't seen that in a Star Wars thing. Everybody always has, you got a little bit in it, but she just doesn't have it at all. So it'd be interesting to see what is that like for someone to train when they can't kind of see the future or feel the Force around them. So I'm interested in seeing where it goes.
All right. Well, I'm sure you will let me know. This will be our Walking Dead, where you just kind of give me updates about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe I'll check that out. Yeah. Right, we'll see.
Yeah. So that's it. What do you got?
So I finished an anime that I've been spending quite a bit of time. So at work, I like to read on my breaks, but I've been just slowly going through this anime. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to spend the next couple weeks or a few shifts or whatever and just watch like 3 episodes a day. So I finally finished Monster on Netflix. Yeah.
Was it because I mentioned it to you? Did it give you a little fire?
It's just I spent like 2 months and I was only on episode 35 out of 74. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking churn these things out.
Yeah.
And in terms of anime, it's pretty impressive. I think you would be frustrated with it. And I'm a little bit frustrated with certain things. I think this is a really good anime that could be a phenomenally great live action show.
Like it didn't need to be animated to get the story across?
No. Okay. There's really not much in it. It's not like that does interesting things with the camera or they go to like some mind palette. I mean, there's a little bit of sort of like imagination stuff, but like very, very little. It's very straightforward. It's like watching a Fincher film or Mindhunter or something, because it's very much, here's a serial killer who who has a lot of power, and it's just this doctor who's on a hunt to stop the man who is causing so much kind of havoc. But my problem with the show is he's this mastermind serial killer who kind of meets other serial killers and gets them to commit crimes for him. And is
that just like he gets off on that, or is it to?
It's to further his plans. Whatever.
Okay. It's not to like, oh well, the cops think it's me, but the killer did something while I was in custody.
No, it's just to keep his hands clean.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen him kill, and it's not like he kills anybody super interestingly. It'll just be like, shoot him in the head with a gun. But it's all part of some master plan that this guy has. And for a huge chunk of the show, you have no fucking clue why he's really doing what he's doing.
Okay.
And you never see him meet these serial killers. They just kind of explain, I met this guy. He was a very pretty face, blonde hair. And he told me, they basically kind of saw him as like this messiah. And for whatever reason, all these serial killers were just kind of doing his bidding because I don't know, he was the embodiment of evil or something.
Mhm.
And there's like an interesting story there of just, a leader of serial killers. And there's a huge cast of interesting characters who will like pop in for a few episodes. Your main character will disappear for a few, and it'll just follow this character. It'll be a detective, and this will be a journalist, and this will be a therapist, and they all eventually kind of become interconnected with a grander story, and it works really, really well. And characters who you think won't have a big purpose in the plot come back later and turn out they do. It's really, really well done. But it is slightly frustrating from a story standpoint because it seems very early on, everyone knows that this serial killer is named Johann. And that's not a spoiler because you find out in episode 1 who, the main serial killer is. And there's one detective who's on the case who believes it's the doctor. His name's Dr. Tenma. And he's like, oh, this Johann character, he's got to be a split personality kind of thing. And for episodes after episodes, even everyone's just like, no, this dude is the nicest guy on the fucking planet. Here's all this evidence. He's like, no. He like never kind of puts him off as a suspect. And the detective's like a super genius kind of thing. Not in the same way as L.
Okay.
And it's not annoying like that, where they're just too smart.
If I don't win the tennis match, then he'll know this. But if I do win the tennis match, he'll know this. Oh, what a conundrum.
Yeah, it's nothing like that. It's very straightforward. There's no, classic anime shit about it. There's no big fight sequences. I mean, there is action bits, but a lot of it's very subtle.
It's not spinning in the air and changing
it's just like
outfits.
kind of watching Seven, but over 74 episodes. I think it needed to go a little bit further. There is violence, but it's never super graphic. I mean, you do see people get shot in the head and blood and all that stuff, but there is some cursing, but they never say like fuck or anything like that. There is
Gee willikers.
There is some slight nudity because sometimes they'll run into prostitutes or question them, but it's always riding that line of just more than like a PG-13 rating, but barely over. Not that I need necessarily, but I think it would have kind of elevated this to where I thought where I would forget I was watching kind of a traditional anime. And I won't go into spoilers, but there's certain things.
Before, do you think I should watch this?
To
win me over in the anime world, do I need to watch this?
I think if you're gonna like an anime, because you didn't necessarily hate Death Note.
No, I like a lot of Death Note.
Yeah.
They just do the anime thing and take things too far.
The problem with Death Note, though, I mean, not the problem, but you like high concept things, where this isn't high concept.
But I'm all for a good, gritty crime story.
I think...
Seven's like into one of my top 10, you know?
The last, 4 episodes, I think, are pretty fucking great. And I just can't say anything. So anyway,
I mean, what I'm saying is if you don't think I have to watch this, this is gonna make me be a true believer. Just give me spoilers. I don't give a shit.
I just think that if there was gonna be if this anime doesn't turn you onto anime, I would say you're just not an anime. But I think you're not an anime guy, and I think there's enough problems with this that it might just frustrate you because it kind of takes because it's a procedural investigative thing. It's kind of slow, and sometimes it's frustrating because it constantly does the thing of you see a character point a gun and then the camera cuts away and you hear a gunshot, but you know that they didn't shoot that gun or what it does that 8 times. You can, because it's also kind of designed for young adults. It's more deep than you would expect it to be, but also I think there's times where it's you're just kind of confused. It's what is the grand plan here? I've been watching 50 episodes. I don't know what this guy's main thing is. I'm getting bits and pieces of these people pass, but I don't know how they correlate to the big thing. You really only get kind of all the information right near the end, and that's kind of annoying. And I don't know. I think there's a lot about it you would really like and appreciate, but I don't know if you'd love it, and that's what's making it hard to sell it to you. Because I'm glad I watched it, because it wasn't one of the animes that's considered one of the best of all time, at least from manga to animation form. And I would love to see a live action adaptation. I think you could flesh out some certain things, kind of expand on certain characters, give them a little bit more agency, and but it's also very interesting in terms of how it connects to the fall of the Berlin Wall, because the whole thing takes place in Germany. And I think you could do kind of like how Fincher did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, where that all took place in Sweden, but you just have British actors and just make it English. Just do that, but set it in Germany, and I don't know. I think it could be super, super great, and it's been off the air so long, and I think there was a thing with the rights, because you can't even like buy the DVDs anymore unless you spend like I think $100-some, because they just don't make them anymore. Whatever, doesn't matter.
So how did you watch it? Like Crunchyroll?
No, it's on Netflix now. But I think for a long time I did some Googling. There was just some rights issues with distribution, and so they just stopped distributing the show digitally and physically. But the point is, it's really good if you like anime. If you're expecting, sword clashes and magic and the power of friendship, none of that shit's in it. It's very much, there's serial killers. We need to stop this guy before he does whatever his grand plan is.
And is that grand plan, once you know everything at the end, are you like, okay, that's cool? Or is it just like, what the fuck? I spent 70 episodes to get to here, and this is it?
Could be. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would defend it and love it. And I won't say anything. Okay. Just in case. If you decide, I'm never going to watch this shit, or I don't know, you're talking to your buddy at work who was watching it, and he's like, oh yeah, when this happened at the end, you're like, all right, well, now that I know the end, whatever.
Yeah, he didn't tell me much. He was like, dude, you got to watch this scene. And he pulled it up, and it was just like the little boy, I guess, was taken by the serial killer and then dropped into a bad part of town, and he witnessed a bunch of prostitutes and bad things to corrupt him. And I'm looking at this dude like, this scene isn't all that amazing. Like, I get how fucked up it is to do that to a kid, but I wasn't seeing anything that...
Yeah, it's better with the full... I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's kind of in the back half of the season. And that episode's pretty effective in terms of... But you have to watch the whole episode. You can't just watch that scene, because you don't know who that kid is, or in the grand scheme, or like what it all means to him, really. That's a good episode. Okay. So I would recommend it, but it's definitely different. But I like it because it's different.
I remembered I did watch another thing.
Okay.
So I'll do that one. When I borrowed all the Underworld movies from Nick, he gave me a movie that I had to watch, because if he's going to give me 5 of his movies, I'm going to have to watch something of his. And so he made me watch Hard Boiled.
Okay. I would happily watch that, yeah. Never seen it.
It's fine. Now, if you were looking at it as a shootout spectacular, then it's pretty great. Every scene where someone's firing a gun is just papers and plaster and things just exploding in the air as people are diving on gurneys and double fist shooting. But the story, I think, is so boring and so weak, and these characters are...
One note?
Yeah, but cliche. You've seen like a grizzled cop and got one of his partners killed, and then you have a cop who's working with the triads as undercover, and the evil guys are selling guns, and they have a big thing under a hospital where it's so by the numbers. It's almost too simplistic for me to care about anyone, and I didn't like any of the characters. Maybe Tony Leung? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Sure.
Chow Yun-Fat I found kind of obnoxious. He just seemed to be like...
Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Evolution?
Yeah, that was my reference for him. He just seems to be so... this fucked up thing happened, but he's kind of like loose about everything. He's got this girlfriend, but he kind of treats her badly. But of course, she's in love with him. And I just think this story was so incredibly unengaging that you're just waiting for the next big shootout. And the last 45 minutes is this huge hospital shootout. And it's the most ridiculous thing. Nobody could stand and fire a gun. They have to be jumping sideways or through a window or out of a morgue, door. What is that called? It's just, I know you're in the morgue and then you're on the slab. There's got to be a word for that. But they're just like busting through, shooting guns, and it it gets to like Looney Tunes, sort of unbelievable. People are getting shot at, and he'll get like one bullet. Like automatic, it's Uzis shooting right at a dude, but he was able to dunk behind a corner, and he gets like one bullet, and he's fine. And then other people just get blown away. So many innocent people. I feel so bad. Like all these people in the hospital, they're being kept hostage, and they're just getting blown away. All these cops are getting blown away. People on the street. I just happen to be in the tea room when these bad guys show up, so I get blown away. They really have no love for any of these background characters. But all in all, I would give it a C+ because for action, it's doing what it's supposed to do. And like a lot of action movies, the story suffers just because it is a visual, spectacular thing. But God, it was fucking boring, man.
Now, I wonder if you watched this when it came out. Like, let's say you're your age now, or
came out in 92,
10 years, whatever.
So I was 11 when it came out.
But imagine you saw that at the time, at the proper age. I wonder if that would have been like your raid kind of thing. Like, whoa, this movie was so it's awesome for its time.
For its
dog
time.
Shit now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't call it dog shit, but yeah, when you compare it to things like The Raid, this is nothing. This is silly. This is goofy.
This is something B movie directors would make now.
They wish. Now, John Woo is pretty good at making an action scene, but you can start seeing a little bit of the flaws. They're trying to do like these one takes down the hallway, shooting up everybody, explosions going off, but maybe they missed their mark, so they need to speed it up. So the footage speeds up to like 1.1, so you see a little bit of that, so they can get to the next spot, and then we need to slow this down, so lots of slow-mo in this. And it'll just slow down just so the pace feels a little more appropriate instead of having the two bombs going off back to back. You get 5 seconds of slow-mo before the second bomb goes off.
I mean, to get it to 130 minutes to get a theatrical release.
I feel like it was we did it as best we can. We shot it a million times, and you gotta just have to fix it in editing. We don't want to cut away, so we're gonna do our best. And I don't fault them for that. But all in all, I would probably never watch it again. This is a watch the highlights on YouTube sort of thing.
All right.
What's your next thing?
My last thing is I finished Beef.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. A24's television show on Netflix starring...
Is this their first TV show?
I want to say yes, but who knows?
Research.
Maybe they had some sort of weird Scandinavian drama that no one ever watched or something. I don't know. Starring Steven Yeun and Ali Wong. I keep want to say Amy, but Amy is her character's name.
Yeah.
And
you handled those names so much better than when I mentioned it on the show.
Yeah, you brought it up a few months back.
Yeah, a couple months.
Because you watched it pretty much when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I took my time getting to it, and I enjoyed this show. I've said it on here before, I struggle watching things where people are just complete fucking dickheads.
Yeah.
And these two people are bad people.
Yes. But you get it.
But
you understand.
I get it. And that's what made them good characters. And this is the first time I've ever seen Ali Wong really do something dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, the show's pretty funny too. Especially when those two are together. I wish they had more scenes together because you couldn't put them together too much because they were adversaries.
Yeah.
And they would cause damage or whatever. But when those two were together, it was so funny, and I would happily see them in more stuff together. That being said, it did a good job of going back and forth. It was like, no, like Amy's a much worse person.
Mm-hmm.
No, Danny's a much worse person. And by the end, I was like, Danny's the fucking worst person. I hated Danny by the end. But Steven Yeun is so fucking good in this show. I think I don't know if this would be considered a miniseries or whatever, but I could see him winning the Emmy because I just thought he was fantastic throughout the entire show.
When he breaks down in the church, when he he just gives it all up, and
but just how he is able to you root for him because he's kind of so sweet and innocent, and Amy is this character who has a ton of money, so I couldn't really connect with her too much. Where I could connect with the guy struggling and being broke and feeling like he doesn't have anybody, kind of
trying
thing.
to live up to parents' expectations.
But also he was oh, he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And so both these characters kind of deserve each other. And you get to the end, and so the first 8 episodes had lots of great stuff in it, but I was like, I'm because they're bad people, it's like kind of hard to. I'm not sure where the show's going.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 2 episodes, I think, are great.
Okay.
I love the last 2 episodes. And then it gets to the very end, and I don't know exactly what the show wanted, or was exactly trying to say. And now we're getting to the spoiler part of it. I'll just say spoilers if you don't want to know the ending of Beef. So at the end, Danny gets shot by George, and he ends up in the hospital, and Amy and him are just kind of sitting there, and she gets on his bed, and they lay together, and it's not like a romantic thing. It's just we deserve each other kind of thing, which I like, and but I think I would have liked a scene of cut to a year later.
They're saving it for season 2.
If there is a season 2.
He says he has 3 seasons planned out.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I didn't do any... the only thing I saw was Beef could be done as an anthology.
Okay.
But, okay, so...
That's how I want it, because by the end, they've squashed their beef.
Yeah.
So where do you take those characters? So I would hope that maybe in the next season, you kind of see how things wrap up for them, but they are just tangentially associated with the next 2 people who have a beef. And then they're not in the rest of the show. And then you just have Beef 2 Electric Boogaloo, and then these people have their, whether it's a car thing or something else, an internet argument, whatever it is.
Yeah. But the thing that I thought the show had a twist, and I was like, I see the twist. I know what it is.
Okay.
And maybe you had the same thought, but so in episode 9, there's the big police shootout.
Mm-hmm.
People die. Someone gets cut in half. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But Paul goes over the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear, hey, stop right there. Bam, gunshots. And so the whole next episode, you don't know if Paul survived.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't cut to Paul. You don't see him, freeze, and there's, cop lights on him.
Yep.
You don't know
See
anything. And typically that means if you don't see a character die, they're not dead.
Yeah.
But I thought the twist was because you also saw, you knew George was coming to pick up his daughter at the location, because Amy had told George, her husband, where her daughter was.
Mm-hmm.
And, but you don't see George pick up the daughter. A cop goes, oh, you didn't hear, is talking to Amy and says, oh, you didn't hear? Your husband took your daughter home. And I was like, oh, wouldn't that be a fucking cool twist if Paul goes over the wall and they say, hey, stop. But they're actually looking at George. George gets shot because they think he's involved. And so Paul goes to the car, because Paul and Danny are the ones who put Junie in the car. And so what if Paul got to the car and said, oh, hey, I'm her dad. It's a little Asian girl.
Yeah.
He's an Asian man. It would have been like, bing, bang, boom.
Yeah.
And the cops would have been like, all right, and cops are dumb or what? I don't know. Yep. Racist.
Dumb and racist.
Dumb and racist, or we can assume that, I don't know, whatever. And they drive off, and that's kind of, that's the big twist is, oh, no, and Amy gets out and it's like, oh, I can rebuild my relationship with my husband. No, you can't. You got your fucking husband killed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, nope, husband's fine, daughter's fine, Paul's fine. It's just, they are just done with Danny and Amy. But that's why I kind of wanted the 1 year later scene or whatever, where you see Paul, now that he doesn't have Danny, has been able to grow because Danny's been holding him back.
Yep.
And, George is happily playing with his daughter, with the girl from who he was having an emotional connection with. So now he's in a relationship with her. So everyone in their lives is now better. And Danny and Amy are now kind of like, oh, well, we've ruined our lives, but now they just lean on each other because maybe their toxicity cancels each other out. Or because of that whole thing where they're tripping out because they ate those berries or whatever, or they're, from their dehydration. But it's like, you don't have to be alone anymore, and neither do you. We just have each other. And I was like, that's fucking beautiful. I thought that's where the show would go is, we're terrible for other people, but because we both suck, we're good for each other. Yeah. And it would never be romantic. It would just be, I know you're like because I'm shitty like you. And that would be the thing. And everyone could have their happy ending because George is now not with someone who is nasty.
Mhm.
Danny isn't holding Paul back. Paul can grow.
Yeah.
It just, I think that is what I don't know if that's too cliche or what I was expecting.
Too happy,
but it just seems like A24 was doing A24 shit. I was like, we're just going to end it on a more artistic note, which is fine. I think the show works throughout, whether you love the finale or not. And it does leave room for a season 2, but I don't think I need to see a season 2, especially with these characters. But like you said, if they want to pop in every now and then, it's like, oh, hey, man, your beef, similar thing happened to me, just squash it. But I will say the show definitely made me go, I'm not a very confrontational person anyway, but this kind of thing of, look how something so small became something so big that cost people their lives. And it's just like, it's just, all it took was two people having a bad day, just fucking destroy each other's
butterfly
lives.
affected out.
Just butterfly affected out,
everything.
yeah.
Now,
So
her husband was like a real fun character and what a nice guy, but I hated him and his mom. They're just these super entitled, ultra rich people who've only known that life. And like I think him asking for a divorce was an extreme. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I just feel they're really bad people, and Amy is having to try to keep up the facade of being rich and successful, but she's like in the shadow of her husband and mother-in-law, and I don't like those two characters, and I didn't really want anything happy to happen to her husband because I don't know, I was more on her side for everything. I think he over exaggerated a bit.
I mean, you can make the argument that he was entitled or whatever and didn't, maybe didn't react appropriately to certain things, but I think when you have your wife who's constantly lying to you and putting your daughter in danger, and she says she's not going to do it again, but she keeps doing it again because at the beginning of the show, he has to hide the gun from her because he knows about her anger issues, and so despite
doesn't she like make out with it and is like masturbating with the gun?
I don't think she makes out with it, but she masturbates with it. And you can call him a dweeb because she was like, sex with you is very vanilla, and he's just. He could be boring. Like, he might not be a character you like, but he is an innocent in all this.
Sure, yeah.
And he didn't cause any of these issues. And he always tried to do the right thing, whether it was the right approach or not. It was just two people who weren't right for each other because from the very get-go of their relationship, I assume she was essentially faking it. So she's just been faking it for however long they were together. So even if he was wrong, you can't blame him for being wrong.
Sure, yeah.
It's really all her fault.
Yeah, and also I think his mother really raised him in a certain way to make him be that way. But also Danny's parents are fucking awful.
Oh, Danny's parents are like
he's
I understand
doing the best to get him everything, and it's like, oh, the house burnt down. Yeah, take us back to the airport because you're a huge failure, and we knew you were gonna fail. Why'd you make us get our hopes up? Because you're constantly fucking up. And like,
when. Earlier in the season when, earlier, like 2 episodes before, they squash their beef and everything, and they're like, we're cool, and then the house burns down, the following episode, and then the next episode he finds out it wasn't arson, Danny, you fucked it up, and then he tells Paul, yeah, she did it. And then it just sets off, he just couldn't let it go.
Yeah.
He knew it wasn't his fault, and he just couldn't let it go.
Yeah.
So that's what was frustrating, is these two people could have ended it a million times and just kept letting it get more and more.
And I think that is the whole thing of the end of them being on drugs is if they just talked it out, it would have never gotten to this level. That's always seems to be the thing in these big sort of things. If you just had one conversation where you had level heads and you weren't trying to be the winner in the argument, none of it would have happened.
Yeah, or not even that you're right and I'm wrong or anything, or we're both wrong, or it's just two people who kind of connected on something, both of them being Asian and having, troublesome parents and all this stuff. And just, oh, my relationship with your brother and I was friendly with your husband. And it's just, they were able to find common connection, even if they necessarily wouldn't be friends on the outside just because they're from two different worlds or whatever. But so fantastic acting, looked great. And
Maria Bello gets cut in half.
Maria Bello gets cut in half. Yeah. So
Cool.
fun stuff.
Well, my last thing is not even like a good thing. It's not a main topic thing. It's garbage. This week was...
We do love garbage on the show.
Yeah. This week was kind of rough for new releases. Gran Turismo was out. I did not care.
I didn't care either.
I was not going to do it, even for the show. I don't care. I've heard mixed things, mostly positive. Like, it's not a garbage movie, but it's not the best. It's not, you have to rush out to see it. Well, the only other new release out this week was Retribution, a Liam Neeson movie.
There's a Liam Neeson movie out?
Yeah, there's a Liam Neeson movie out called Retribution. And apparently it's a remake, and it's been remade a couple of times. It's a foreign film. And pretty much, Liam Neeson is a money guy, a Wall Street guy. He gets people to invest and uses their money for things. It's a little vague.
How old is he now?
Oh, he's very old. And his children are very young in this, so it's equally gross. So he's kind of not the best father. He's a little inattentive. He's a little angry. He's forced to pick up his kids when he's got to make this big call because one of the clients is going to back out and they're going to lose some money. So he gets his kids, and one of them is, I think it's the Avatar 2 kid, the one with the dreads.
Yeah. Spider?
Yes.
Was that
I
his
think
name,
that's
Spider?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's who it is. But anywho, once they get in the car, they don't know it at the time, but they've turned on a bomb, and it's pressure sensor under their seats. And he gets a phone call, and it's like, modulated voice. I'm gonna kill you if you don't do this stuff. I need you to have your wife, go to your safe deposit box and get all this money. And he witnesses some of the people whose money he's fucked with. He's actually kind of a scumbag and has lost people money. And him and what's his Mooney? God, not Kyle Mooney. That would have been great. He was in Stranger Things. He was Papa. You know that guy?
Oh, yeah, Matthew Modine.
Matthew Modine.
Yeah.
I love you, Steve. Thank you so much. He's his partner, and like Liam Neeson witnesses one of the guys he kind of scammed get blown up because they got out of their car and died, and so there's bombings all around the city, and it's this guy on the phone is making it look like Liam Neeson is killing all of his partners and some of their clients, and the guy's just trying to get the money. They have like $280 million in Dubai that he can only unlock with his Matthew Modine, the other partner, because he got screwed over or something. Like it's very vague of why he's doing this. And so it's just Liam Neeson in a car with his kids crying in the backseat, just driving around, screaming on a phone, cops chasing him. But of course he's able to, get out of it.
Now is it a bunch of like fast cut edits where you can...
It's not anything interesting.
Oh, okay.
It's not exciting, sort of.
I just mean like it's just awful editing in terms of...
Not like Taken 3.
Okay,
no.
yeah, okay.
But it is dull. So it gets to one point, and he meets up with Matthew Modine. They're both in the cars, and he's just like, "What the fuck, man? Why are you killing all of our partners?" And he's like, "You gotta listen. It's not me. It's a guy on the phone, and like I need you to unlock your half of the money in Dubai, and then I'll unlock mine, and we'll give it to the guy on the phone." But Matthew Modine just thinks it's Liam Neeson doing it, and the guy on the phone's like, "You gotta kill your partner," and he can't do it. And like a train goes by, and then boom, the car explodes. So eventually it gets to the point where the kids get out. The cops are able to stop them, shut down cell service, so the bad guy on the phone can't trigger the bomb. They get the kids out, and he's just like, I'm going to do this on my own. And he's talking to the guy like, "You're not going to kill me. If you kill me, you don't get the money. You got nothing. We're going to do this face to face." And of course, he's outrun the cops again, meets up with the bad guy who's in a mask, and then pulls it off. And it's Matthew Modine. It's like I'm not going down for all this embezzlement that we've done. I'm making it look like you, and I'm gonna go off and get a plastic surgery and retire. And it's the thinnest of evil plots, and really, there's only like 3 other characters. It's his wife and then the police chief, and I was thinking it was
Was
gonna
it the
be
police
his wife.
chief's last day on the job?
No, nothing like
man.
that. And so yeah, it pretty much ends like he's driving and he purposely gets into a car accident. They're hanging off of a bridge. The doors have been taken off by the police when they stopped him because, oh God, and it's so frustrating. The cops have stopped him, and the son is in the backseat like, listen, officer, my dad didn't do all this stuff that you're seeing on the news. And she's just like, well, we'll talk to you. Let me talk to your dad first. But he's not saying the same thing. He's being so vague about the information, like he's frazzled, and it's like, calm down and just explain yourself and you're fine. But of course not. You don't. So you look like a bad guy, and then you take off. You look even more like a bad guy. It's so many times that if people just like have a conversation, you wouldn't have any of the drama. Obviously, I know that's how movies work and stuff, but it's just so fucking frustrating. So they're hanging off the side of a bridge, and Matthew Modine's like buckled in the back, and Liam Neeson just like jumps out of the car, sets off the bomb, blows up Matthew Modine as he like falls into the water and survives. Then like climbs out of the water, kind of side view to the camera, has a flash of his daughter, flash of his son, flash of his wife, and then it like cuts to black, and that's it. Like, okay, does he get away with it? Do they prove that he wasn't a part of it? Is he going on the run now? It's so...
That's for Retribution.
Yeah.
The sequel.
Uh-huh. It's... If this would have been same sort of plot, getting revenge, you fucked me over because my parents invested in you, they lost everything, and they killed themselves, and then when you pull off the mask and reveal who it is, you don't know who it is. It's just some guy. You get some random actor. You get Logan Lerman or something. And then so the audience is like, who the fuck is this guy? And Liam Neeson would say, who the fuck are you? And he's like, yeah, you don't know who I am. I'm the anonymous face of all the lives that you've ruined because you're a piece of shit. And I think they could have revealed it little by little that Liam Neeson is a real big piece of shit, and it's been kind of hidden, and you let him die. But I can't see Liam Neeson signing on to be like a bad guy role. I can't think of a time that Liam Neeson has been a bad guy. He could be a badass, but not a bad guy. I'd have to look at his IMDb, but I mean, take me a few days. He has so many straight-to-video movies. It'd be hard to tell on a lot of them. But if they switched it up, because whenever it's a mystery of who done it, you just start looking at everybody, and you only have a handful of characters. And if you subvert it by showing just this rando that nobody knows, and this is his master plan, you're in the dark as much as our hero.
Yeah.
And then when it turns out that the hero is a huge garbage person, you start going, oh, well, maybe he's doing the right thing. Yeah, maybe this guy killed other people as well.
Sure.
But maybe Liam Neeson needs to be punished. And it's basic, bare bones, does nothing interesting to elevate it in any way. It seems like, hey, we got this role. 90% of it, you're going to be sitting in a car. You're going to have a green screen in the background. You're not going to have to do any real driving. Would you like this easy paycheck? And he said, okie dokie. That's Liam Neeson. He's Mr. Easy Paycheck.
I love the idea of Liam Neeson saying okie dokie.
Yeah, in his Irish voice.
So you would say you weren't taken with it?
No.
Okay.
I would say this was a nonstop bore, and if I sat through any more of it, I would have died and had a walk among the tombstones. I'm trying. Because I think that's the last Liam Neeson movie I've seen in theaters. Because all this stuff sucks. Like, oh, there's a bomb on the train, or a bomb on a plane. It's always him on the phone talking to someone, going like, "Arg." Yeah. I thought I would maybe get some good laughs out of it. And maybe it'd be so bad it's stupid. But I think I'm going to just give it an F. Because it just doesn't really succeed in any way.
So worst of the year.
So far.
All right.
Yeah. But it's kind of a gimme.
Yeah, it's not really fair.
I knew what I was getting
Yeah,
into.
yeah.
So
Fair enough.
yeah, that's all I got.
I think that's all. I mean,
You've been playing Dead Space.
I've been playing Dead Space, but I'm not going to talk about it until I'm done.
Yeah. Okay, you want to know the gun I liked? It's like the Force gun. It just does like a big concussion blowback.
Haven't gotten that.
Okay, that one's great. And once I got it, I upgraded it all the way, and I didn't touch most of them. Like, there's a sniper rifle and like other laser guns. Never really touched it. Never really used the Ripper one. But this thing, it was great. You have 4 things coming at you, and it would blow them back. It would blow off limbs, and it was good if things are on the ground to really break them apart. I recommend giving it a whirl. Because that's one of the bad things about the game. There's so many cool weapons, but you only have so many fucking nodes. You could only upgrade them so far. And I'm not going to have a bunch of like 30% cool weapons. I'm going to have 200%.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about it another time.
Yeah.
I will hopefully be done the game by next Sunday.
Yeah. So what's next week?
Let's find out, folks.
That's your job, Steve. You're supposed to know.
I need a list of my jobs because I forget them.
Well, knowing actors' names, knowing years that movies came out.
Well, that's just in my mind, pal. It's under, like, in files.
Remembering what theater you were at when you saw a movie 8 years ago. It doesn't help the podcast at all, but it is one of your talents. I think next week... Hold on.
We got it in 5, 4, 3. 2.
Hold on, don't say it.
September 1st.
It's
What the fuck is that? Okay.
Fuck, I just had it. What is it?
Equalizer 3.
That's a threequalizer.
No, 3-qualizer. Yeah.
I never saw a threequalizer too.
There's also a movie called Never Give Up. It's got an American flag on it, and it's not rated, so...
Oh, God. Is it God's Not Dead 3? Never Give Up. Okay.
Brad Mins is a walking miracle.
Why?
Deaf since the age of 3, Mins becomes the world's best deaf tennis player. Mins, this is a long name.
Based on a true story?
This is the last sentence. But this is more than a story about perseverance and overcoming obstacles. It's a story of faith and God helping us to do our best against all odds. Oh, it's a documentary?
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. There's actors in it. I don't know.
Whatever.
So. So there you go.
Oh, cool.
So it's Equalizer 3 and Bottoms. Do you know what Bottoms is?
I do want to see Bottoms.
Let's see Bottoms.
Okay, I'll see Bottoms. I want to see Equalizer 3, but I'm kind of torn. Do I rewatch 1, watch 2 for the first time, and then see 3? Or just go into 3 not remembering a goddamn thing? I just remember a hardware store in the first one.
Yeah, I saw 1. I liked it.
Yeah.
Had no desire to see 2. And
I hear it's bad.
And I have no real desire to see 3.
Mm-hmm.
But that might be kind of a fun thing for us to do. It's like, oh, we saw the first one, didn't see the second one. Fuck it, let's just see the third one. But I have a feeling you will need zero information for this one.
Like, you remember when you were in Cuba all those years ago and you killed all those people? Yeah, I left that behind.
They're coming back to get you.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, cool.
I moved to Italy to have a life of peace, and my past is catching up with me. But
it doesn't. From the trailer, it just seems like you just ran into a new crew of bad guys.
That's true. It's like, oh, hey, he's
the Equalizer. He kills everyone from the last one. So there's no one else to go after.
Yeah. Like, nope, this is a nice area, and you guys are bad guys, so I'm going to give you 9 seconds, That's his thing, isn't it? 9 seconds every time?
I don't know if it's 9 seconds every time. I think he just kind of calculates it in his mind. Okay. It's like, yeah, this is going to be about 7 seconds.
Okay.
Or whatever.
But I want to see Bottoms.
Bottoms looks fun.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, tune in next week for Bottoms. Maybe Threequalizer. Maybe Dead Space, the remake. Yeah. I don't know. I did finish Solar Opposites.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about it again once you watch it. But so if you want to get in contact with us, we are at WRPLpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, aka X, Instagram, and TikTok. I gotta do more TikToks. All the TikToks that we have are just, hey, look, a new episode is out. Let me throw a fucking AI filter on a movie poster, and I hope it turns out to be something silly. They're really boring. We need to do more. It's just I don't want to show my face, you know? People don't need to know what this looks like.
The monstrosity behind the voice.
Yeah, you already have to hear this voice. You don't need to want to look at it at the same time. We put up a partition so Steve doesn't even have to look at me during these things.
Yeah, I mean, I look like Brad Pitt and George Clooney had a baby, and so, and I don't want to like just. It'll just seem like you're here out of pity.
Yeah,
you know, because I'm just so handsome that it would just be. I feel like I'd just be kind of rubbing people's faces if we had ourselves on camera. And then I didn't want to gross anyone out by having you on camera, so it's just we're just better off not on camera.
Yeah, side by side, I look even worse, so I don't want to do that to myself.
And you might ask yourself, how do we become friends? And that's a long story that I'll come up with another time. But,
It wasn't working together, watching movies, and
that we've said on this podcast many times.
All right, so that's the socials. Get in contact with us if you want to. Send us a tweet and tell us to shut up or something. So, as always, I'm Ben.
And I'm Steve.
Keep consuming.